Headquarters show me 10-8, man. It's a great day. First of all, it's a great day because it's Cowboys. Cowboys gonna play today. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty excited about that. And also I got my boy Jay Cordona, which was born on March 20, 1974 in Queens, New York. But if you ask my man where you from, he's gonna tell you straight out it's from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? The New York
Straight up
guys.
Brooklyn, baby. You know it. You know it.
Of course, man. His mom, Maria Reyes, and his dad, Jorge Cardona. They were both from a great island of Puerto Rico. So, you know, you got some Boricua on you.
I certainly do. I certainly do. I'm very proud of it too.
That's really cool. That's a really good thing to be proud of, by the way. You know, just a little bit about Jet. You know, if you heard me referring to Jay, I'm talking about the same person, Jet Jay. You know, he's been working for the Nassau County Police Department back in 2007. He started in 2007 till present. He did patrol in a 6th precinct, 2008, 2013. Then he was assigned to Police Athletic League in 2013, and he's still doing that work till this day. And also he covers units from Massapequa. Is that how you say, Jay?
You got it.
There you go, Massapequa.
You passed the test, Massapequa.
Massapequa, Levittown. And he's a member of Nassau County Hispanic Society for Central Organization. And of course, National Police Athletic League is a board of trustees from 2020 till present, voting member, Special Olympics, and then he won. He ran a marathon, guy. That is crazy and impressive. I really, you know, admire you for that. Jay is a level 1 CrossFit certified, and he started also training jiu-jitsu. Is something that we're going to talk about today. You know what I mean? He has so many accolades that we're going to be talking about throughout the show, but I just want to welcome everybody, my man, straight out from New York over here to the great state of Texas. Jay Cordona, man. What's going on, my brother?
Thanks for having me, Blessed. Everything's going well. You know, I'm glad to see that you're here and your boys are playing today. Just like you said with the intro, yeah, I've been with the Nassau County Police Department for this is my 15th year now. We met a little while ago back in a conference for PAL and kind of stayed in touch since then. I've seen what you've been doing and you've been seeing what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to get the positive out, get the fitness up, get the positivity up for our youth organizations, just trying to lead that life, trying to be about it, not just talk about it. So.
Nice. And Jay, man, just looking back at your background, you know, I mean, you always been involved in sports since high school, you know, being all district, all region, you know, football, baseball. And, you know, now at your, I mean, let's not forget, my man was homecoming king, man. Can't forget about that. And you still keep the good looks, though.
I gotta thank my parents for that one. So
there you go. That's the good thing. But Jay, let's talk about the state of law enforcement in New York at this time. You know, me just working as I got a new job now. But like when I met you, I was still with Odessa Police Department, and I was doing the Police Athletic League. Of course, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But then I transferred to Odessa College, where I was the director of a police academy. So I've dealt with a lot of people who want to be a police officer and a lot of people who don't want to be a police officer. And everybody who don't want to be a police officer right now, they just complain about the state of law enforcement. So New York being one of the biggest states, biggest city, New York City, biggest city in the world. So how is the state of law enforcement in New York City right now?
Well, as when I first came onto my job, we do have a lot of people who come over from the NYPD, the New York Police Department, and they come over to our jurisdiction, which is the Nassau County Police Department. So you hear a lot of stories. And of course, when I started back in 2007, a lot of people would say, man, when this job first started, it used to be like this. And it was the policing back in New York in those days were a lot different than they are now. What we have to do is we have to start taking a look and seeing how we're policing, as compared to how we used to police.
Mm.
I'm all for taking into account how our today's me being the PAL, I recognized by U.S. News and World Reports as the safest large community in the country, and that is due to the due diligence model. Okay, and they also recognize our progression of being the community outreach type of program. It's also intervening at an early and after school programs and trying to get them to join them to stay out of the streets. I myself, my outlet was sports. So that's what I realized was going to work for me. And that might not work for everyone, but it worked for me. So I involved myself in sports pretty much from the end of the day until I went to bed at night. Now, whether it was completely active and participating or watching, that was my thing. But I think the evolution of, you know, just going out there and being heavy-handed with criminals and people doing the wrong thing, I think the intervention part is working to help reduce crime, because major crimes in New York have gone up, but the small petty type of crimes have gone down. So we're going to see how that transition is going ever since last year with a lot of the demonstrations and protocols brought in by George Floyd and the push for police reform throughout the United States.
Man, that's a good point. The push for police reform throughout the United States. So going back to that, you know, George Floyd and all of that, because I know we had an issue in New York State whenever it came to like chokeholds way before George Floyd came about. You know, there was another case, and that's where I can breathe t-shirts. So, you know, not revolution, but I Can't Breathe, you know, started and people start talking about that. And that, if I'm not mistaken, happened in New York. So how is that affecting the policing, you know?
Well, the Eric Garner situation.
Eric Garner,
yeah. Just to a quick synopsis. I know many of you have seen the video. If you haven't, a gentleman was, this is all factual, gentleman was out front attempting to sell loose cigarettes, which is illegal in New York. He did refuse to obey the officer's commands. A struggle ensued, and the struggle that ensued led to his death. There was a chokehold involved, but it's how it was determined. What was the actual cause of death was left up to the coroner. So that led to a lot of meetings and a lot of dialogue about how the policing should be. So what's happened now, and it's great because the state of law enforcement now, excuse if my dog does bark a little bit.
No, it's cool.
We're very pet friendly here. So what it has led to is the being more careful in law enforcement and how we police. As you know and I know, it's no rules for them, but a lot of rules for us. And we need to go through our police academies and our training and kind of know that that is the case. We need to understand that we do have rules when it comes to policing. We do have rules when it comes to the arrest powers that we have. And we can't just go out there and be like the Wild West. We do have to take that into account. So my concern now is what is going to happen with the restrictions that are placed upon law enforcement when the criminals don't have any rules. And what you see now is our former chief of detectives, Keishant Sewell from the Nassau County Police Department, was just named the NYPD police commissioner by Eric Adams, the newly sworn mayor in New York. Wow. There was also a new DA that was brought in to New York, and he was elected. It was Alvin Bragg. And Alvin Bragg has now determined that there were going to be a lot less crimes. There would be a lot more crimes with less penalties and charges brought on them. And I think Commissioner Sewell did the right thing, and she recognized that, unfortunately, it's going to harm our cops in the street on a daily basis. Yeah. The dialogue has come in now, where they have spoken, Alvin Bragg, Keishant Sewell, and the mayor, showing the problems that this might have for our police department to the west, the NYPD. And what happens is with the NYPD, Nassau County is just next door. So sometimes sometimes the things that happen in the NYPD slowly start to make their way toward Nassau County.
Yeah.
So we just want a good balance all around the tri-state area, which is the 5 boroughs, Nassau County, upstate New York, and those areas like that.
Man, that's very interesting because, you know, you guys in Nassau County, y'all feel the consequences happen, you know, next door. I mean, everything just boils down and affects you guys as well.
Yeah, sure. You know, listen, we've had radio runs where an occurrence happens in Nassau County and it spills over into New York City.
Yeah.
We literally are bordered. Like you can have a radio car in Nassau County and a radio car at NYPD, and you can talk to the guys.
Wow, that's
same
cool.
thing for NYPD, they come over into Nassau for some stuff. But like you said, it does spill over. But what we're trying to do, again, as the safest county in America, we are trying to be proactive and not reactive to what we do as a policing in Nassau County. Because as soon as you start to be reactive, then you're playing a little bit of catch up. So what the police commissioner did with our police reform model is taking a look at all the aspects of how we do policing in Nassau County to help protect our citizens, to help protect our communities, and not just on a reactive basis, but on a proactive basis.
Man, and that's how, you know, policing should be about, you know, nationwide, you know, a proactive approach rather than reactive. One of the things that I believe is like the Police Athletic League, now that's what we're going to talk about next, has been like a proactive type of program whenever it comes to policing in America, you know, and the counties or the cities or agents who have Police Athletic League, they haven't seen, you know, a success on that. You know, me just being in Odessa, you know, some of those kids that were kids 5, 6 years ago, you know, they're adults now. And just the interaction that they had with the police officers allowed them to, you know, not being afraid of the police. So you have been with a Police Athletic League for a long time. So what impact have you seen or have you noticed, like whenever it comes to, you know, the relationship between the community and the police? What impact the Police Athletic League has had?
Well, the biggest one that I can show you is a personal experience. When I moved from Brooklyn to Nassau County, and I tell the story, I didn't know a single person in the area. It was like a movie. It was like The Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso went from New Jersey to California and didn't know anyone, got picked on. Same thing with me. I didn't get picked on, but I moved from Brooklyn. It was a big culture shock for me to go from what they say, the concrete jungle to the suburbs. And the first day of school, man, it was rough in 9th grade. Everyone was established, and it was very different. And the first place that I reached out to for community outreach was the PAL. And that was when I was 15 years old back in 1998. And to this day, I am still a part of it. So it's been decades that I've been with the PAL on a personal level. And if it wasn't for the PAL, I wouldn't have the successful career that I have today. So that's very exciting. And I love sharing that story. And just being with the community members in Nassau County today, being a police officer director for many units, organizing community events, holding these programs, holding special events, holding seasonal events, it shows that the community runs what we want to impart on our kids. Our programs are volunteer based. Our programs are run by the parents and family members. So we need to find the people that want to do that now. With the way that society is today, everyone's on the run. Everyone's working, you know, multiple jobs, and you know, it's like kind of like a big rat race. Especially here on Long Island, it's very competitive. You see the videos, people taking the train into Manhattan and the big long traffic jams and the Long Island Expressway, and it really is like that. But the people who are the pillars of the community, they make the time and they make the effort to bring these programs to our kids. And our programs in Nassau County, they run from 5 years old to seniors in high school, which can be up to 19 years old. So we're really appreciative of our volunteers and what they do for our community here in the Nassau County PAL. And we wouldn't be able to run without them. So with the backing of the Nassau County Police Department and the volunteers that we have a very successful program here in Nassau County where we have over 20,000 participants. We have 28 units, they're community units, and the Nassau County Police Department organization sees all of them. We have 14 police officers that are involved in the PAL, and they oversee the daily activities that we have within our communities. The police commissioner is very in tune with what we're doing in the communities, and he supports us 100% to the point where the PAL had 5 police officers, and I was one of the 5. He's grown that to 14.
Wow.
For the community outreach, for the viability and sustainability of what we have going. So we don't ever want to see the PAL leave, because these kids in these programs in these communities, they look to us as role models, not only the police officers, but also the coaches and also the parents and also the family members that help to bring these programs to them.
That is amazing, man. And just for, if we have an audience of people who don't know what PAL is, can you just break it down, what that is? And you already, share what programs you guys have, but just break it down, what that is, so some people who don't understand what PAL is, because I know in West Texas where I was, we big and we have made a big impact, but I think it can be bigger,
So what the PAL, the Nassau County Police Activity League, it is an organization where we provide youth and services to our kids and young adults that are the department uses the police department as the bridging of kids, cops, and communities, which is the national PAL motto. We are just the liaison to bring the communities together. And that doesn't have to be sports. We have other programs as well. We have painting nights. We have dance nights.
Wow.
We have one-offs like barbecues. We have dance parties, stuff like that. So it's not just all sports encompassing. Whatever the community wants and whatever the community needs is what we try to bring to them. One community might not have the need for the programs that another community would need, but that's what we try to do. We try to listen to the communities. We try to get those programs to them just for the sake of reducing juvenile delinquency within our communities and our county as a whole. Because like I said, when you start with early intervention, that's when you have crime reduction. When you have crime reduction, we can take care of all facets of policing within our county.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I know that's a very important part of your job, and also passion, there's something that you love about it. But, this next picture, I don't know, you guys this is my man, Jay, man, got his first stripe in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So let's go back and start talking a little bit about, fitness and the need of training in law enforcement. Like your accolades whenever it comes to sports, you have done Spartan races, marathons, and that's one on my bucket list, my dream. I would love to run a New York Marathon or Boston Marathon. I'm currently training for another half marathon here in Texas. But it's good to see you doing jiu-jitsu, man. So, and this is just a small part of what I'm going to share with you guys, because Jay also is a founder of House of Games, man. So, and I really enjoy that. And I'm going to share with people where House of Games is. But tell me, your love of sports, fitness, and law enforcement. How is that coming together? I mean, how did that came together?
Mm. Well, like I said, when I first went to my high school in New Hyde Park, I didn't know anyone. The first outlet was sports. I played for 11 seasons in my high school career, football, baseball, basketball, all the way through. I made a lot of friends doing that. I made a lot of connections, and I still speak to people that I played with on those teams to this day. So what I did is not only did I use that in high school, I've always stayed in shape, and I've always realized what fitness is and how important it is as you get older. And I've definitely realized that now. I've never stopped working out. I've never stopped doing these things. There are times, of course, where the proverbial life gets in the way, and you kind of have to slow down. You have kids. I have 4 beautiful kids and my beautiful wife. So, we do need time for family. But as my wife knows as well, and we share the same sentiment, you need time for yourself for fitness. There's no better pill for mental health than working out. And I believe that 100%. There's no better feeling than working out, whether it's jujitsu, whether it's running, whether it's any type of weight training. That's the most important thing you can do for your mental sanity, is to stay healthy. And we've seen with COVID now, the majority of people who get sick and unfortunately succumb to their COVID sickness are the people who are sick. And when I say sick, on the health, wellness, sick continuum, they are not healthy. They are sick with many comorbidities, whether it's diabetes, whether it's being overweight, whether it's smoking, whether it's empathy, anything like that. So the best thing you can do for your health is to stay healthy. And that means having a good diet. That means being active. And when I say active and eating healthy, I'm not saying to measure your food with a scale and work out 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
That can mean for you to walk or just watch your caloric intake. And that's something that's very important. What's good for one person isn't necessarily good for everyone. So that's what you have to decide. I myself, I do a lot of high intensity training.
Yeah.
High intensity jujitsu. Just because it's good for me doesn't mean it's good for you. Yeah. And even if you're not on that path yet, a lot of people say, well, I need to get in shape to start doing this type of activity.
How many times have you heard that? How many times have you heard that?
A lot of people say that, especially with the CrossFit things that I do. Yeah. Especially that I've seen people with jujitsu. There are people in jujitsu that I've seen who have started off just doing jujitsu. Yeah. They've lost 30, 40 pounds, gotten in much better shape. People that I train in CrossFit and people that I train with high intensity work and running. They were never anyone who worked out. They're progressing so well, and they are years beyond how they should be if they had kept along an unhealthy path.
Unhealthy path, man. In law enforcement, just 2019, we had close to 200 plus suicide. And then 2020, was 175. Then 2021, the number just came out like 145. And those are suicides that were actually reported. But, you and I, we know a lot of them go unreported just due to, insurance issues. But, how do you motivate your officers to come and train and stay in shape?
Like I said, you have to kind of practice what you preach. It's, for me, I like to show my fellow officers and people that I work out with, even the students in the PAL, this is what you can be, this is what you can become. It's something where I use the marathons, the Spartan races, the World Police and Fire Games that I've competed. I show that in social media. And what it is, it's a accountability factor. You have to make sure that you are accountable for your actions, and you have to make sure you're accountable for how you perceive yourself and how people perceive you. Because as soon as you drop the ball, okay, that's when you start to let things go, and people are going to be like, he's not about it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I know he's going through the rounds, and I've read his book, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. I know a lot of people have heard of David Goggins, and
Yeah.
you follow his social media,
Yeah.
all right, you're going to see he works out every day, and he gets after it. But like I said, that is what David Goggins does for David Goggins. He gets after it the way he does. I get after it the way I do. But if I can show people that you can get after it in a certain way, I want to have these people be a better them. They don't have to be better than someone else.
Yeah.
They have to compete against their inner self. It's very hard once you are at a certain point where you just can't get motivated. You just can't do it. You have to conquer that inner voice in your body that says it's too hard, it's too cold, I'm getting out of breath, because I've seen both. I've seen people get to the point where they try it and they tap out, and I've seen people get to the point where like they are exhausted and they love it. And it is the best feeling when you have someone that you're training stay after it. Whether they get their first pull-up, whether they're training for a half marathon, which I have both at my house of games right now at the gym that I kind of run. There's someone training for a half marathon. There's someone that was going to get their first pull-up. And when you show what they can do, it is amazing. And anyone can do it. It doesn't matter what disability you have. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter where you came from, anything like that. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything that you think you can't. There's no excuse. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that.
Okay, talking about House of Games, man, explain to the people who don't know what this is about. You know what I mean? I'm on a page right now, just share. And one of the coolest story about it is my man right here done really well. So what is House of Games?
So the House of Games is started off 2 years ago, of course, when the pandemic happened.
Yes.
Everything in New York got shut down. And literally, we were the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in the United States, to the point where everyone was home and no one was working out. The gyms closed. Just before that happened, my buddy Anthony, who lives just about a mile away from me, he wanted to start getting in shape again. And Anthony said, what should I do? And I said, there's two things you got to do. One, we're going to convert your garage into a gym. Two, you gotta trust me. If you do the programming that I show you and you eat right, you are going to get in the best shape of your life.
Wow. So
what happened was Anthony and who you see on the screen there, Derek, they bought into what I was saying. So Anthony works a very tough job. He works in recycling and sanitation here for the town of Oyster Bay. And he has a very demanding, grueling job. He's at work at 4:30 in the morning. And at night he'd be out. Yeah. He was lacking the motivation and the the confidence to keep moving and keep working out. So when we started doing the programming of working together in a group class, he saw results. Yeah. Derek on the screen was 298 pounds. Now you think someone that's 6'5", 298, but it wasn't the best 298 that you could think of.
Nah, I'm 6'5".
Yeah, so he couldn't run a mile without huffing and puffing. He couldn't do a pull-up. He was very lacking in the fitness realm. Fast forward 2 years later, he does multiple pull-ups. He runs about an 8-minute mile. He's doing all sorts of things that he never could have done, which is what makes me feel so good, because not only that, he's my friend, and all my friends are participating in this, and they are seeing results that they have never seen before, which gives me the accountability factor for them. Once you post something on social media, how you start, you don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
you are accounting for yourself. Yeah. So you got to be about it. If you're going to put yourself out there, you got to finish what you started. And these guys are finishing what they're starting.
It's a good point, man. And, you know, I follow you and you follow me. So we know about our fitness journeys and stuff like that. And that's those effects that you just stated. You know, like once you post on social media, the reason that I post on social media sometimes is just accountability. You know what I mean? I want people to see that, hey, I ain't lying. I'm fat this month or I'm fat this week, but like I'm posting to show you that I'm fat because I'm going to beat this. I want to get better, but I want to show you. So in case I don't get to where I need to be, you can shame me. You can be like, oh, you just talk about this, but you ain't doing it.
Yeah, so I see when you post those pictures after like a long couple of weeks stretch and you're not in the best shape that you are. Yeah. I know in 2 other weeks you're gonna get down there.
I have to. I have to. I have to, because you know, you like you say, it's accountability. Because you know, I got friends like you know, all over the state that they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're still fat," and I'd be like, "Man, I can't be like that anymore. It can't be like that."
More, you got to remember, family men like us, whether you have kids or not, whether you have jobs like us, you have to have a good balance. Yeah, you have to balance the good with the bad. And you know, during the holiday season, it gets tough. Big so. Time. You gain a few pounds, the discipline kicks in. You know that your discipline will kick in and get you right back to where you want to be. So you can have those stretches of hanging out with your friends a little bit, maybe a little tequila here, maybe a little dancing there. Yeah. But your discipline will always revert you back to home base. And home base is getting after it. And what I really feel like is though getting after it, doing the accountability, showing your friends what you're about, it's only going to be a positive thing, not only for that day, but for the foreseeable future. Because I know I will be doing this until the wheels fall off. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And you have to be smart about it. You have to take care of your body with fuel, with food. You have to maintain your body with mobility, with staying loose, with not overdoing it, not overtraining, resting when you have to. So all those factors go into it for a healthy lifestyle. And like I said, you can go back a little bit, hang out with your friends, you know, going away with your kids on vacations and enjoying yourself. That's also part of it. That's also part of the healthy lifestyle. Doing those pictures on the beach with the missus and the kids chilling, that's being happy. Yeah, and I know you like doing that, so
you know me. You know, that's part of my life. But you know, going back to, you know, I mean, continue to talk about fitness. You know, marathon, of course, we talk about that. But like, do you think, because you just start training jiu-jitsu, you know, and it's something that you have been looking for a while now. So do you think jiu-jitsu should be mandatory in law enforcement?
Listen, I've always been a UFC fan. Just like I was a bigger UFC fan than the average guy. And when I would watch fights, I would actually stop talking to my friends watching, and I would watch and I would see what they do. And I've always been more drawn to the grappling aspect of it instead of the stand-up, because I've seen so much stand-up growing up watching boxing. So, you know, boxing when I was young was the sport. Oh, and as you know, I would listen to boxing matches with my dad, because that's what people did. There would be a commentary. That's how people listened to boxing. And pay-per-view used to go to a hall or a movie theater to watch boxing. Yeah. Now it's so mainstream, and I really enjoyed it. So what happened was, I wanted to start a program for our youth, a youth program for PAL. So I went to Royal Jiu-Jitsu in Mineola, New York, and I found out that it was brand new, under the direction of Professor Mateus Lutz. He is a 5-time world champion, and you got to go with the resume, and you got to see how clean the gym is. I think that's a big part of it. So Like they always say, you have to judge your gym by how clean the bathrooms are, because if your bathrooms are clean, everything else is going to fall into place. You care about what that looks like.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it. So I checked the bathroom straight away. It was glistening. So I was like, oh, this place
is it. Yeah.
Going to be good. So I started training. And of course, it's very humbling what you think you can do to what training with these guys shows you. And I came to realize very quickly that you need to train like this to help in your career in law enforcement. Because how many times have we been in those situations where you're going to be up close with somebody, and every single call you go to, whether it's a domestic disturbance, whether it's a VTL, or whether it's a noise complaint, you can be in that situation and you never know what's going to happen. So you have to be in those situations before they happen. Now, the way you train is the way you're going to be on that radio call. Yeah. If you've never been taken down, if you've never been on the bottom of someone that weighs 70 pounds more than you, how are you going to react?
Yeah.
You can't tap out on our job. You got to fight. Fortunately, our job, we have two cops each call, no matter what. Unfortunately, there are jurisdictions where it's a one-man job.
Yeah, a lot of them, huh?
That partner could be 4 minutes out. And we know how long 4 minutes are when you're rolling with somebody. So I found out very quickly, and like you asked me, should jiu-jitsu be a part of law enforcement training? If there is 120%, I think it's 120%. At least, I think everyone should be at least a jiu-jitsu blue belt. At least. And the reason I say a jiu-jitsu blue belt, now that I see what the training takes, what it takes to train to be a jiu-jitsu blue belt,
yeah,
chances are people that you encounter hand to hand are not going to have any training. So when you have at least a blue belt and that training that goes with it, you already going to have the upper hand on those people that have no training.
Yeah.
Or are stronger than you, or are bigger than you.
Yeah.
But that jiu-jitsu training will definitely get you ready to take on that person.
That's really good, man. That's really good. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's all factual. You know, jiu-jitsu is a different game. Humbling, you know, when you find when you find somebody out there in front of you, you know, like training jiu-jitsu for this many years that I've been training, like the confidence level goes up, and I know what to do whenever I'm on a call. I don't have to be a reactive type of approach. I can be a proactive. You know, I already know what they're going to do. I already know if, like, I always tell the students whenever I'm teaching a police academy, I say every single time I'm going to a call, I'm talking to the person, I'm looking and I already scan my area, my environment. I already know if this guy throws this punch, how I'm going to defend this punch. If throws a left hook or a straight right hand, or he tries to kick me or bull rush me, I already know how I'm going to defend that. It's not something that I got to be like, oh, shit. No, I already know. In my mind, you know, I'm talking to the person, but I'm already computing. I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to defend this. And that comes with training, you know. So talking about, you know, everybody should be at least blue belt, which is very reasonable, very reasonable. It's not something that out of this world. So that's something that I wish, you know, all police departments could just implement and make sure that, you know, people do that. But also for me, it's like, I just want people to train, you know. You train jiu-jitsu, yeah, good. But if you work out, that's good too. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm okay with it. As long as you're able to hold yourself for 3-4 minutes until backup comes because we got a lot of out of shape police officers, man. I got a neighboring county over here. They just graduated 5 officers. And man, you look at the officers, man, if you come into the job already overweight, man, the chances of you getting bad are very, very slim. Now that there's a chance, but man, it's just tough, you know, it's really tough.
Yeah, well, you see, listen, all the criminals and perpetrators out there, they're sizing us up. So how you look is a big part of how the call is going to go.
Yeah.
When you pull up to a call, whatever the call is, whether it's a VTL, if you look squared away, your shirt's tucked in, and you look like you know what you're doing, chances are they're going to listen to you. Yeah. But if you go into that situation, not kept up, you know, not looking tight, overweight, it looks like you can't even run down the block after them, they're going to take advantage of that.
They will.
That's something that I always take a look at when I see other jurisdictions. Like I did the Boston Fenway Park Spartan race, and I don't know if you get this, in 2015, I believe, or 14.
Man, I wanted to do that one so bad.
You should take the ride up here. You got a place to stop over here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I saw these Boston police officers. There was not a yarn, a thread off on their uniform. Nothing. And I'm like, man, those guys are so squared away.
Yeah.
No one would mess with those guys.
Yeah.
Nobody. So that, you know, not only would with jiu-jitsu and working out, I feel like as though, like you said, when you go to a call, you know what's up. And you know your training and your tactics are going to overcome whatever they have on them. And that is also your personal life. You know that when you carry off duty and when you have jiu-jitsu skills and you can fight, you don't mess with anybody.
Yeah.
You avoid fights. You don't want to fight anybody.
You avoid. Yeah, you avoid. Yeah.
When there are people who are getting into road rage, because I like to let people in. I don't drive 1,000 miles an hour. There's a lot of people that have road rage around here. They could be honking the horn, giving me the finger, cursing at me. I just let them go. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, it comes with confidence. So the more confident you are, I feel like as though the less likely you are to engage in any type of fight or activity like that.
That's good. Going back to 2021, 2021, last year, you got the Law Enforcement Officer of the Year for the, Hispanic Society. So talk to me a little bit about that award.
It means a lot to me. And I've said it before, there's no other award that you can get that would make you feel better than, one, the department you work for, which I have a lot of pride in working for, and two, the fraternal organization of your heritage.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I don't need any other top cop. I don't need a plaque to be recognized as the Law Enforcement Officer of the Year for my department through my fraternal organization. I won. That's it. And being in the PAL, there's nothing better. And the reason why I feel that way is because the Nassau County Police Department, Hispanic Society, does so much outreach, so much community-based engagement. They do so much for the entire county that being a part of the organization makes you feel like you're making a difference. They have they collect prom suits and prom dresses for at-risk kids. They have food drives whenever there's a tragedy overseas. They get money together whenever there's a police officer that's fallen or a police officer in need. They raise funds. It's just amazing. So for me, that's the biggest win you can have, because when you want to represent your heritage and your family, because we know as minorities here in the United States, even though I'm from Puerto Rico, we are a territory, but we're still considered a minority here. Coming to America and making it, there's no better feeling. And you want to represent your family and you want to represent your heritage in the best way possible. So when you get these accomplishments and accolades, you are proving to them you're doing the right thing. And by all means, our fraternal societies, whether it's a Hispanic society or any other ones within our police department, they're really doing the right thing. So, like I said, by being in this police department, being in the unit that I work for, and being in the Hispanic society, and then winning that award, man, there was no better feeling. It was such a good feeling to the point where it was the first time in my adult life that my mother and father were in the same room together for me to share this award.
Wow.
And I did. So that night that we just had with the Hispanic Society was the best night of my life.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations once again, man.
Thank
I know
you
that
very
means
much.
a lot, and you deserve that. Just the work that you have been putting in all these years. And for people that don't know, I met Jay at one of the Police Athletic League's conference, man, and we just became close. Since then, we kept up with each other, via social media, and it just shows which kind of person he is, man. I'm really pleased to know you, Jay. And another question is, a marathon, man. Like, let me tell you, I'm a basketball player. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, and I just started running, maybe I started running about 11 or 12 years ago. Whenever I officially retired from basketball, I was like, man, I got to do something else. So I started doing martial arts and running. And training for marathon, training for half marathon, doing Spartan races, man. I have done, trifecta, all of that. I haven't done a full marathon. And just to think about it, that hurts me. I got out the other day, I ran 10 miles. I'm like, man, why am I doing this? But I enjoy it. But like 26.2 miles. That's crazy. Awesome. Tell us about, that journey.
So I ran through the Special Olympics of New York, and I was a fundraiser. I raised over $5,000.
Wow.
For Special Olympics New York, and I ran the 2017 New York City Marathon. The training, just the way I am, I made it harder for myself. So the training started at the end of the summer when it was really muggy, really hot in New York. I didn't train with music. I ran with no music. I ran on stretches, what's called Sunrise Highway, which is there's no trees and all traffic. It was hard. The marathon training is not only physically demanding, but mentally, physically challenging, but mentally challenging.
Yeah.
When you start to map out those runs and you're in for running for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, it's daunting.
Yeah.
But the feeling you get afterwards, forget it. Like the last big run for the marathon training that I did was 20 miles. It was 21 miles. And I came home and I had the ice bath ready. And, the marathon's an accomplishment. The 20 miles is also an accomplishment as well. But you know what I got for a 20-mile run? An ice bath. And I patted myself on the back. Yeah, good job. But the feeling that you get, and I think New York City might be the greatest marathon in the world, only due to the fact of the people that are in there.
I agree.
The diverse community that is running, it is people from all over the world, all demographics, all types of disabilities. I saw someone running in front of me that had a bib, and it said, "This is my 25th marathon." And this person was elderly, and they probably finished. It's just amazing to see the stories that you have.
Yeah.
The people, the stories that they have. And my best recollection of the marathon was I lived on North 11th and Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn. And the marathon runs right on Bedford Avenue and North 11th in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So as a kid, I would look out my window every year and see everyone run by. And I would clap, clap, clap. And as a kid, you don't really realize what you're looking at. When I ran down that street on marathon day, it was 7 people deep. And I stopped and I took a picture in front of my old brownstone.
Wow.
It was the best feeling in the world to be like, wow, man, I grew up as a kid watching this.
Now I'm
and I
doing
never said I'm gonna run a marathon.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that are cheering you on that don't even know you.
Yeah.
Let's go, Jethro, you got this. It was not as humbling as the physical part of jiu-jitsu, but humbling for community. Like, wow, there are some good people out here. And we are 6 hours into the marathon already, and there are people here cheering for me that don't even know me. And it was a great feeling.
Man, that's awesome. Actually, I got a couple people from the running club here in my town in New York today, actually, running. They did a half marathon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And
it's cold.
Yeah. And one of the things you just say, I just want to make sure that people understand. You said after your 20-mile run, you know, you got an ice bath and a pat in the back. It's more than that. It's more than that. The mental strengthening that you did to yourself, nobody else can give you that but you, man. Like running 20 miles, running 10 miles, man, your mental is different than a regular person. I say that. Your mental is different than regular person. Because for you to make a 20-mile, running 20 miles, bro, that's insane. But like for you, it's just like, yeah, I did it. Regular people they don't even want to drive 20 miles. You running 20 miles. That's crazy. But that gets you prepared for life in general. Because you know, man, I can endure this. I'm stronger than this. I can make it. I can go past 10 miles with no problem. You know, so every single time when I run, I have the same mindset. I run 5 miles, I'll be like, I'm ready to fight. I run 7 miles, I'm like, I can't fight anybody, you know? And like the regular person be like, shoot, I run 1 mile, I'm dying. I'm dead. You know, no, I'm not dead. I can't fight anybody. I'm here. So that 20-mile right there, man, makes you separate you from the regular person, regular people. So man, that's tough.
That's that inner voice telling you not to do it. I'm going to give you a quick example. One of the people I'm training, she's running the Brooklyn Half Marathon in April. And she texted me yesterday and said, I might drop in to the local gym and do 2 miles on the treadmill because it's too cold. I said, absolutely not. Do not do that. Because once you do that, you can always have the out.
The internet connection.
Yourself. Always make things tough. Always break down those barriers. Those 10 miles turn to 12. Those 12 turn to 15. Marathon.
Yeah.
And as soon as let me tell you, marathon, and you're a jiu-jitsu black belt, you can do anything. Can't tell you nothing.
My man, I love that, man. We need to get back to it and talk, because I know we can talk for days, for many hours. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, football, man. We talk about Dallas Cowboys. Actually, I'm fixing to go watch the game right now, but I had to talk to you today because it's been a while. So
thank you.
Tell me about football, man. You're from New York, and the Giants, they ain't doing good at all. They haven't been doing good in a long time. But tell me about football.
They've fallen tough times. So football, I've grown up a big New York Giants fan. I've been a New York Giants fan all my life, so I've seen my share of championships all throughout my life. Yeah. You know, first one was in '86 that I've seen, and I was in '86. I was young. I was in 6th grade. So I've matured to the point where I've seen it as a young adult and as an adult. But I got to tell you, funny story. I grew up, and I remember like 6 years old, maybe 7 years old. I was into posters. I was into posting. I started posting stuff up. And I'll never forget the first poster I had for sports. The first sports poster I had like Lamborghinis and like, you know, the first sports poster I had was the Dallas Cowboys.
What?
And I'll never forget, it was Dallas Cowboys with the star, and it had Danny White, and it had Coach, and it had a couple other linemen. But it was my first team that I ever looked at. America's team.
Jet, you got that right. And you know you can always come back home, baby. You can always come back home.
I gotta tell you, my graduating year, there had to be. I graduated with 200 people in my class, so we'll say 150 boys, 150 girls. So I had 300. It was 297. There had to be about 15, 16 big time Cowboy fans in New York that were my age in my school. You could do the math. They're super popular, man.
Yeah.
Listen, or organizationally, listen, they're one of the most storied franchises in sports history. You
Those
put the
facts.
Cowboys with the Steelers, Montreal Canadiens, and the New York Yankees.
Yeah. That's true, man. I appreciate your time, man. Is anything else? I know we're missing a lot of stuff, and we're gonna get back to it, man. I promise we're gonna get back to it because I know we still got a lot of things to talk about it. But is anything else that you want to share with us before we finish this interview today?
I just think we're in a really tough time, not just law enforcement wise. I think we're in a tough time socially.
Yeah.
I think what we have to do is you can't look at something. We're going to get to an end point where we're going to be better. All right. We're going to get there. And I feel like as though you have to get yourself around the right people and make that circle tight. And people like yourself and myself who have kept in touch with throughout the years, make sure that bond is strong.
Yeah.
Because right now there's a lot of noise out there. Drown out that noise. Keep yourself strong. Stay healthy. Because that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Excuse me. Nothing is better than being healthy. They can't take that away from you. Yeah. As long as you're healthy, that's you have that for yourself.
Man, that's really awesome, Jet. Man, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. And I see you next time, man. We definitely gonna get together, man, for another conversation. And I want to come up and visit New York this year. Like you say, just stay positive and hoping that everything goes well this year.
Likewise, all the best to your family. And hopefully next time I speak to you, I'll be a jiu-jitsu blue belt.
That's what I'm talking about. And Cowboys will be in Super Bowl. I mean, Super Bowl champs by then.
Good luck to you.
All right, man. Thanks, Jet. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Man. Thank you. For the rest of you guys, I just want to say happy Sunday. I hope the Cowboys win today. And headquarters, show me 42. I'm out.